Shumai everyone, I'm Deiniol from Catch 22 and I can't wait to see the Southern Hemisphere teams make their annual tour up north. I've looked at the squads from each of the Six Nations and chosen 2 players from each to highlight ahead of the autumn fixtures. There's no strict criteria for this list, but I've tried to pick players that are either uncapped or have only a few caps to their name. So, in no particular order, let's get stuck into 12 players to watch this autumn. Rio Dyer, Dragons RFC and Wales. Few players have been grabbing the spotlight in Wales as much as Rio Dyer has this season. A lightning fast winger who knows how to finish opportunities off, Dyer gained some valuable knowledge and skills having represented Wales at Sevens, and has been prolific for Dragons RFC over the last 2 seasons. Considering Dragons normally struggle in the URC, the fact Dyer is ranked 4th highest try scorer in the competition so far, and 2nd in clean breaks, and 2nd in metres made, is incredible. I think it's prudent to point out here that the top ranked player for tries scored, clean breaks, metres made and defenders beaten is Darcy Graham, Edinburgh Rugby. He's looking positively electric this season, but with almost 30 caps to his name, he doesn't quite meet the criteria for the type of list this is meant to be. Anyway, back to Dyer. Some of the tries he scored this season have been phenomenal, including a brace against rivals Ospreys and their incredible win against the Odds. There are injury concerns in the Welsh camp over Lee Halfpenny, Josh Adams, George North and Alex Cuthbert. It might open the door for Dyer to make his international debut at the Principality Stadium. With Johnny McNichol and Lewis Rhys-Sammet ready to go, and rumours that Scarlet's Ryan Conbeer could be drawn into the camp, the Welsh back three is bursting with pacemen with a knack for scoring tries. Here's hoping he gets a chance to lace up his boots this autumn. Robert Balogun, Ulster and Ireland. Another former 7-star, Balogun has been with Ulster since 2018 and is just shy of making his 50th appearance for the province. The speedy wing made his debut for Ireland in 2021 against the USA and scored a cracking solo try, leaving half the Eagles' backline in his wake as he carved his way through the defence from the halfway line. He's only featured in 2 games for Ulster so far this season, but has made 3 clean breaks, gained 124 metres and has crossed the whitewash for a try against the Emirates Lions out in Johannesburg. A tall and rangy runner, Balogun is a threat from anywhere on the park, and he doesn't shirk his defensive responsibilities either, having made 9 successful tackles and missing none so far in the United Rugby Championship. I really hope Balogun will get a chance to stretch his legs this autumn, as he really is a joy to watch in full flight. But with South Africa, Fiji and Australia all packing a punch of their own between the tram lines, he'll have his work cut out and he'll have to work even harder to get the opportunity to do so. Tommaso Menoncello, Benetton and Italy. Speaking of players that are a joy to watch, Menoncello is another young Italian back with a dazzling future ahead of him. Just 20 years old, the 6-foot speeder has already made his name for himself as a prolific try scorer, having crossed the whitewash 4 times in just 3 appearances for the Azzurri. This includes a try on debut against eventual champions France in this year's Six Nations, a brace against Romania and his 4th against Georgia, despite suffering a loss there. Last season in the URC, Menoncello statistically would score a try every other game, and his mindset sits firmly in attack mode, kicking the ball away only half a dozen times through his entire season. He does have some things to work on, mainly ball retention and contact. That's to be expected of someone who, until earlier this year, would have been eligible to play youth rugby still. There's something brewing in Italy, with a steady flow of talented youngsters making their way through the ranks and making a real impact on the international stage. Watch this space. Joe Hawkins, Ospreys and Wales. Hawkins had a bit of a breakthrough season in 2021, scoring what would have been a wonder try against Connacht early in his career. Unfortunately, the try was disallowed. He's a fascinating player to watch. Built like he could easily pack down with the forwards, with a howitzer of a right boot, and seems to relish the physical collisions in midfield. He's got an experienced head on young shoulders. Being still just 20 years old, he captained Wales in the 20s last season and made some crucial interventions. He scored a try that turned the tide against Scotland in the Six Nations, scored another against Georgia in the summer, plus slotted a long-range effort in the 75th minute against Italy to win the match in the summer. It sent Wales through to the final. At first glance, it would seem Hawkins has some competition in the centre, with Nick Tompkins, Owen Watkin and likely George North in ahead of him. And we also know that Pivac fancies Josh Adams in the midfield too. But in reality, Hawkins is most likely an inside centre, and Tompkins' versatility means he could shift around the backline during a game. So it could come down to what kind of game plan Pivac has in mind, whether he wants a big old unit like Owen Watkins stepping in, or a second playmaker in the backline. He's played at outside half for the Ospreys, so he's a useful player to have somewhere in the 23. Will we see him this campaign? I hope so. Ethan Dumortier, Lyon and France. Another back looking to earn his first cap this autumn, Dumortier has plied most of his trade for Lyon on the wing, but can also slot in at centre. He's made 34 appearances for his club side, crossing the try line 10 times. He started in all 6 of his top 14 games so far, and has scored 4 tries. Just watching him play, you can tell he has a thorough understanding of the game, and isn't just a flyer. Though, as is expected of a winger, he is also a flyer. But he's deceptively strong, battling through tacklers, beyond the contact, and has an innate ability to get to the try line. It's difficult to see Damien Penaud, arguably one of the best wingers in the world at the minute, being ousted anytime soon. So it might be a straight fight between Dumortier, Toulouse winger Mathis Lebel, and Clermont powerhouse Aliveretti Raka, both of whom have already got international experience. But I'm quietly optimistic that Dumortier might get a chance for Les Bleus before the year is out. Kieran Frawley, Leinster and Ireland. If you happen to catch any of Leinster's games where Frawley played, you're likely already aware of the 24-year-old utility back's influence on games. He's not your super flashy counter-attacker that scores all the tries, but he's as solid as they come under the ball. His injection of pace in the back line causes defences no end of trouble, and he's eager in defence. With those traits, it's no wonder then that Frawley is just as comfortable at outside half, centre and fullback. He scored 2 tries and 21 points from the tee last season. And while Joey Carberry is in a race for fitness following a shoulder injury sustained in the latest Interpro, he could be Andy Farrell's saving grace should Sexton take a knock during the campaign. His versatility may also come into play with only 3 out-and-out centres named in Ireland's squad, those being McCloskey, Henshaw and Ringrose. For this reason, we may also see fellow Leinsterman and uncapped back Jimmy O'Brien making his international debut too. If you've enjoyed our content so far, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel. The more you support us, the more content we can make for you. With that being said, let's get back to the video. Stafford McDowell, Glasgow Warriors and Scotland. We haven't seen much of McDowell this season, making just 2 appearances for Glasgow Warriors in the URC so far. He made his debut for Glasgow in 2017 and began his professional career with them in 2018. A year later, he was named in Scotland's training squad, but went uncapped. He'll be hoping for a more fortuitous outcome in his second stint with the national side. McDowell is most often used as an inside centre, which is no surprise considering the 24-year-old's powerful running style. However, he's up against a host of players capable of playing centre for Scotland, in the guise of Mark Bennett, Chris Harris, Ollie Smith, Kyle Stein, Cameron Redpath and Sione Tuipulotu. Here's hoping we get to see the dynamic centre have a crack at either the Wallabies, Fiji, the All Blacks or Argentina. Tom Pearson, London Irish and England. The Rugby Players Association included the back row forward in their under-23 team of the season, alongside teammate Ollie Hassel-Collins last season, and Pearson was also awarded the James Norton Memorial Trophy for the Young Player of the Year in 2022. At 6 foot and 114 kilograms, he's the type of flanker England head coach Eddie Jones loves having in his back row. He's solid and hard-working, putting in the graft where it matters. And that's the type of player you need if you want to beat the Southern Hemisphere teams. Pearson's tackle stats have been phenomenal so far this season. In fact, he's the top tackler in the English Premiership with 63. That's 7 more than his nearest competitor. And he's joint third with turnovers won. England in the past have been found out at the breakdown by not having a specialist open side in their team, but they've addressed that gap in the talent pool, and then some. England's open side depth chart has developed at a rate of knots, the likes of Tom Curry and Sam Underhill stepping up first, and then you have your Jack Willises and Lewis Ludlams, and now, hopefully, Tom Pearson too. Louis Lebrun, Castres and France. Another 20-year-old who could earn some international honours this autumn. My greatest achievement when I was 20 was using reggae sauce as pizza sauce. So, not quite as good, but still, impressive. Lebrun is a versatile player, able to play at outside half, centre and fullback. With his pace and an eye for a gap, it wouldn't surprise me if he could slot in on the wing too if needs be. Lebrun joined Castres in 2020, having spent his youth days with Toulon, and has gone on to become a regular starter for his adopted side, racking up 16 points in his opening 6 games so far this season. He fits the mould of a French halfback, with dazzlingly quick feet, dangerous pace, and the ability to put his teammates into space when there seemingly is none. As Romain Ntamax is still battling to recover from an ankle injury, there may be an opportunity for Lebrun to impress enough to earn his first cap. If not against the Wallabies or Springboks, then certainly against Japan in their third and final fixture of the autumn. Luca Andriani, Zebre Parma and Italy. A recent graduate of a strong Italian under-20 side and Rugby Brescia, Andriani joined Zebre Parma for the 2021-22 season. He's since gone on to feature 20 times in the URC for Zebre Parma, playing both open side and blindside flanker. And at 6 foot 3 inches and well on his way to 17 stone, Andriani could likely slot in at 8 as well. He's really caught the eye over the last few weeks, and with his recognisable, if not slightly Tipuric-esque, blue head here, he's easy to spot on the field. Although an explosive ball carrier, it's his work at the breakdown that's more valuable. He's quick to swoop in over the ball, and a tough individual to budge, giving his opposition little time to react to his jackling efforts. If he gets the nod this autumn, expect him to be a real nuisance around the breakdown. Tom Roebuck, Sale Sharks and England. Born in Inverness, winger Tom Roebuck is Scottish qualified, but has been plying his trade south of the border ever since moving to the Wirral as a child. Rising through the age grade development system with Sale Sharks and representing England at both under 18 and under 20, the 6'2" winger has shown himself to be a dangerous runner. Last season saw Roebuck score 6 tries in 6 games, making him a fan favourite at the AJ Bell Stadium. Linking up with fullback Freddie Stewart, that's 2 sets of safe hands into the high ball for England, and with Seven's experience, the 21-year-old has pace to burn. He's gained a little under 290 metres, made 6 clean breaks and beaten 22 defenders so far in the English Prem. But he'll have tough competition, with the likes of Jack Nowell, Adam Radwan and Joe Cocknesinger all vying for a spot on the wing. The young buck, get it? Buck, Roebuck, and he's young.
You can't put that in, mate.
He was called up to replace the injured Johnny May, who withdrew from the training squad with an injury. He's not a like-for-like replacement, with May boasting a wealth of experience on the wing and can cover the back row. Well, maybe not. But he's got a bit more mass about him and can slot in at centre if needs be.
Deiniol just checked, he's just been pulled out of the England squad.
Right. Cameron Redpath, Bath and Scotland. It appeared for all the world that Cameron Redpath was set to represent England, having represented them at under 18 and under 20 level, and was included in England's training squad to tour South Africa in 2018. However, Cameron would eventually follow in the footsteps of his father, Brian Basil Redpath, and don the iconic blue jersey of Scotland. His debut appearance was against the side he nearly represented, England, in a famous Calcutta Cup victory at Twickenham. Unfortunately for him, Scotland, and anyone who enjoys watching him play, Redpath would suffer an injury that would put him out of the rest of the tournament, and he wouldn't earn his second cap until he came on as a replacement during the 2022 loss to Wales in Cardiff. I'm certain Redpath will get another opportunity to increase his international experience this autumn, and I really hope he does, as he deserves to play a game in front of a home crowd. He's been tearing things up since joining Bath in 2020. Despite the poor run of form for the club in general, he's an intelligent footballer, an elusive runner with pace to back it up, and has silky soft handling skills that make him a real asset as a second distributor. I'm excited to see him swap the blue of Bath for the blue of Scotland, and I think he's even better now than he was at the start of the year. Those were 12 players worth keeping an eye on this autumn series. What do you think? Did I mention everyone you thought I should? Or are there players out there more worthy of a spot on the list? If so, please let us know in the comments below. If you want more Catch-22 rugby content, be sure to check out our channel. And if you want something to listen to when you're on the go, we also have a Catch-22 rugby podcast. It's available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. I'm Deiniol from Catch-22 Rugby, and until next time, thanks for watching.